Morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. Good morning. How are we doing today? It is 8:30 a.m. in California, so that means what? That means the Savage is going live. And what a morning have we had this morning, right? Um, it's been a little bit of a hectic morning due to one of my um, favorites releasing preliminary information and numbers, and I guess they just the street didn't like them. They weren't the greatest, and if it all rings true, and the numbers are concise and they are exactly what we are expecting, then we have a miss. But I do believe this is an extreme overreaction. I am talking about C3.AI. The ticker is AI, probably the best ticker um, in the whole market right now. A lot going on, right? Um, the stock was down damn near 32% earlier on in the morning. And I mean, I said yesterday when I made the video that there was an extreme overreaction to these preliminary numbers. The CEO has, a very, I don't know if it's a terminal illness, but it's definitely a disease, right? And he's basically stepping down as CEO, which kind of hurt the stock a little bit over a month ago. And although it was trying to recover, these news do not help. However, a move from $28 to or $29 to 14 this morning in over a month, it's incredible. 50% discount. I first thing that I did this morning when the market opened is I set some stinkers that triggered. I'll buy back a lot of covered calls. I bought thousands I'm sorry. I bought dozens of covered calls, and I have thousands of shares just chilling at this point. Um, what to do on a day like today, right? I mean, you basically are the stinker. You are the bid and the ask, and you get to choose, which way you want to play it. I didn't want to go to 15 because I knew it was not going to stay there long, right? But I did write some cash secure puts for 1750, the 1750 cash secure puts, and I brought in over $3 in premiums for September and for October. I also bought a few hundred shares with those premiums, like right at market price, so in the $15 and $16 land. Sometimes it would take a little bit for those stinkers to trigger, but patience was key this morning. However, there were a couple of times when I just saw it started, to recover, and then I went in with a higher bid just because I didn't want to miss the opportunity. And I know that I may have been a little overzealous, right? But I know that C3.AI is not going to stay here long. And look at what happened. It went from like 14 something, which I think was the low of the day. I want to make sure that I am reading this correctly. And I believe our low of the day for C3.AI was 1454. That is insane because the stock was just $29. So that's realistically and really 50% off. Nothing has changed with the company, right? The company's still going to do what they do. Tom Siebel is going to tap someone that he thinks is deserving of the spot and is going to take it seriously. And because of these numbers, he pretty much told us, I wasn't working as hard because of how sick I am. And I know that this is something that spilled over, and he's blaming himself right now. That's kind of what a good CEO does. I'm sure that there's other things that we're not seeing, right? But I just don't think C3.AI is a $15 stock. I mean, it's almost $17 right now. It recovered to like the 17s and change this morning, and it's down just a bit. I think it's kind of consolidating and filling that gap right now. But quite honestly, I mean, it's going to do what it's done before, which is people overreact to these news, and the stock goes on a slope down, right? It loses, 30, 40% of value, 50% of value. And everyone is expecting all these AI stocks to outperform the market by like a ridiculous percentage. And it's just not going to happen right now. What shocks me, and since we are in the AI conversation right now, is Nvidia and AMD basically being told you're going to pay 15% of every sale that you do in China with these chips, right? And the stocks are up. See that? So that makes absolutely no sense. This is why the market is one of those um, devices that it has no rhyme or reason. There's extreme overreactions of both ends, and sometimes people just don't do anything. Um, is it because they're not taking the executive branch seriously with these tariffs that they're going to be charged for sales in China when it comes to these AI chips? I don't know, but I do know the stocks are actually positive this morning. Last time I checked, and so that's basically the market telling us, that stocks will go up and down. There's no rhyme or reason to it, and we just have to be reactive and obviously have a plan. So I went in and I bought back all the contracts that I had for $40 out to 2027. And I think I got those for like 50, 60 cents. I bought some 35s back. I bought even some 30s that I had for 2026. And those came down so cheap. I was actually going to buy them back, I think, when the news broke that Tom Siebel was sick. But I wanted the market to take away my shares because I was looking at using that money to move away elsewhere. But right now, when the stock drops so drastically, it's a no-brainer that I had to take a position, right? And I just decided to, close every single call that I had out there. And then I went crazy. I actually started raising capital because it was moving so fast. And in the minutes that it took me to raise the capital, the stock recovered $1, and I was like, damn it, I should have just pulled the trigger on some that I was on some cash secure puts that I was really looking to write. And it took minutes. So I did close contracts. I closed some Rivian contracts. I closed some TerraWolf cash secure puts and Rivian cash secure puts. I closed some Mara cash secure puts, some Red Cat, some Webull, and even some GameStop cash secure puts. And I just raised all this capital and I just started deploying it and, doing cash secure puts for 1750, expiring September and October. I didn't even go to January because I want those shares. And that's one thing that, if you really believe on a specific company, right? You got to put your money where your mouth is. And I'm always pounding the table whenever AI will get to like the 20s, right? $22, 21. I was telling people, sell some 2250s. I personally sold 2250s. And I would say, hey, if you're looking at this company, 2250s would not be out of order. $22 would not be out of order. Well, the stock is at $14, $15. I got to put my money where my mouth is. And I just thought it was just such a gift. It's such a gift that I had to take, I had to take action, right? All right, we got Charlie C2 in the house saying, hi, Savage. How you doing, Charlie? Bobby's in the house saying, number one, buddy. Hector is in the house. Joey V is in the house. Kent's mom is in the house. Good morning, Kent's mom. Good morning, Hector. Mark C is in the house saying, good morning, y'all. Dude is in the house saying, let's go. And Wing Commander is in the house. Tobin, what up, Tobin? Saying hello. And Savage, what a morning. I agree, bro. What a gift, right? I think you and I have been trading C3.AI for a couple of years now. And I mean, it's just like when Unity went to like $13, $14, right? It's just such a gift. it's such a gift. Like I did what I didn't do the last time that C3.AI got hit like this, which is I just went and I closed all these cash secure puts that were even as low as 20% green, basically favorable to me, right? And I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna take this money because it's just basically making a lateral move, right? And so that's what I did. I raised thousands and thousands of dollars. I had thousands of dollars on the sidelines, and I just same thing with my wife's portfolios, and I just closed all these covered calls. So right now I'm sitting on thousands and thousands of shares of C3.AI. We're gonna wait to see what the stock market wants to do and what the stock tells us, right? But I honestly think it's consolidating and it's filling that gap. And it's going to do what C3.AI does, which is it will recover to like the $17, $18 land. It'll stay there for a few, and then it'll just come back down a bit, and then it'll just hit the next leg up. And then it'll stay in the $20 to $22 land, and it's going to consolidate maybe a month, maybe less. And then it'll just shoot up to 23, 24, and it'll stay there. And then it'll chill there for a little bit, consolidate, and then jump to like 25, 26, and it'll just rip to 30, and then it'll come back down to like the 24, $25 land. And so this is what C3.AI does. It's always one of those really tricky companies that, for whatever reasons, people want to play with fire, and shorters want to short. Then there's not that many available float shares, right? Shares, the float is pretty low. It's pretty small. There's not that many available shares as it is, and so, anyways, it doesn't take much to move the stock. Sometimes the shorts get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and then it just rips, and that's where we come in, right? And we take advantage of those rips. And if it rips to 25, 26, we sell some 27.50, sell a couple of months, and bring in $2, $3 per contract, right? Per share. That's how you play this. Jude K saying, good morning, Savage. Good morning, Jude. CKT is in the house saying, getting some good stock prices and rights this morning. Yes, we are. I've been busy this morning, man. And I just have my coffee because I had to get going, and usually I'll wait for my wife to give me my coffee, but I just I needed some caffeine, man. I needed a nice joke, and here I am. Good morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. Thank you for watching. All right, so I know it's a little bit of an exciting day for us, especially if you trade C3.AI, if you trade Nvda or AMD. You woke up to the morning that your company's gonna be paying 15% in tariffs whenever they do a sale in China, and stocks are barely up this morning. Let's see what we have going here. I know the market is kind of a mixed bag at this point, right? I think the S&P 500 is down ever so slightly. The Dow 30 is down, 148 points out of 44,000. That's a nothing burger. The Nasdaq is up a few points, but it's like a nothing burger. The Russell 2000, it's down not even 2 points. It's a nothing burger. The VIX is up 4.5%, and that should tell you what you need to know right there, right? People are getting a little anxious. However, the VIX is still under 20. So until you see the VIX spike to like the 2022 land, that's when people start getting nervous. And that's when I start seeing spikes to like 30. And if the VIX is at 30, that's when you can start, planning on buying some good stock that is going to be very, very cheap. And then whenever I see the VIX around 30, it's just a matter of time before it rips to like 50 and 60. And when it rips to 50 and 60 is when we have either a big correction, which is like 20%, 15 to 20%, or we flat out go, down 30%. And the market, I'm talking about the market as a whole. But right now, even gold is down. I mean, I think it's because of the news that gold is going to have to start paying a specific tax. I think tariffs, right? Intel was down in the last week, and the CEO is going to meet with Trump, and now it's up to 5% for the day. I mean, look at that, right? So everybody was basically saying that Intel was done last week, and look at that. All it takes is a meeting. I think people are starting to realize that the way that you play this market is by basically bending the knee to Trump. I mean, that's what he wants. AMD's up 2.6% today. The stocks that are moving the most this morning are Soun. For all of us that they sold cash secure puts on Soun, the $10, the 11s, the 12s. It's up 15.5%. I closed my Soun cash secure puts this morning because like I said, I needed to raise capital for my moves to C3.AI, and I was making a move on C3.AI on all 4 portfolios this morning, and man, I'm happy that I did, because I ended up selling a lot of cash secure puts, and then I take that money, right, and I bought the shares. I bought hundreds and hundreds of shares at market price, which is in the 15s, right? And so right now it's just about just giving the stock time to do whatever the stock wants to do. Now we fold our arms. This is why we fold our arms. Nvda is one of the most heavily traded stocks today. Tesla, AI is 1707 now. It's down. It was down 32%. Now it's down 22%. This is what it does, guys. You guys have to have patience. And remember last night when I was telling people, don't be afraid to take a position when a stock gets hit like that? I literally said that last night, right? Like 12 hours, 14 hours ago. You guys can look back at the video from yesterday. You can't get scared. This is a gift. Whenever nothing changes in the company, because nothing has changed, right? And it's not like these numbers were not unexpected. We were expecting AI to basically have a weaker outlook, right, on future earnings. And so that's what's happening. They're just basically saying, it's not going to be as sweet for us in the coming, months as it was in the past, because the economy has taken a hit, right? The economy is lagging at this point. Everything is more expensive, right? Inflation is up, and I hate when I hear that people are saying, our economy is strong. So Microsoft and Nvda make up 50% of the Nasdaq, the money in the Nasdaq. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. We're over leveraged, and we're putting our eggs in these 2 baskets, right? As soon as one of those companies or 2 at the same time take a big hit, the economy is going to tank, and that's just the way that it's going to go. It's not an opinion at this point. It's a fact. Like, you can see that these companies are making 50% of what the Nasdaq value is, and over leveraged, right? If anything, I think they should shave down and maybe put in a couple of other companies in there and have them play, But what do I know? I'm a dumbass. Tom Kaufman is saying, good morning, everyone. Let's see here. Wing Commander is saying, meet Kevin pooped all over AI this morning. I mean, you know what? Everybody has an opinion, right? I don't think he has a position on AI, or maybe he went and got some cheapies this morning. I mean, you can look. I'm sure he's big on Palantir, and I'm sure he's big on Nvda. C3.AI is a direct competitor. So maybe not Nvidia, but definitely Palantir. And C3.AI has actually taken governmental contracts from Palantir before. It's a great company, but it is what it is, right? Like the stock is sitting right now at 17 bucks. Um, it's 1/10 or less than what Palantir is. I personally, I was pounding the table when Palantir was 10 bucks, 12 bucks, 15 bucks, 20 bucks, $25. I was telling people, and you can watch it here on my channel. I was telling people a year ago, you cash secure puts on Palantir are free money. Cash secure puts on Nvda are free money. Some people decided to say, "Hey, let me do some more due diligence. Let me do research on these companies," and they made a buttload of money. And others decided to take another route. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You can't be on every single stock, right? And that's the same thing with Kevin. He's taking a position and he's saying, that he doesn't necessarily like C3.AI, but I assure you, he probably doesn't even know what they do. It's just him being, overly bullish on Palantir, which at this point I think is overvalued. But people are waiting for it to hit 200. And will it hit 200? I think that it will not hit 300. I think it's probably going to go to 198, and then people are going to profit take, and it's going to go down and tank. But if you are holding it and you would like to sell it at 200 and have no problem selling it at $200, sell some covered calls. Go out to like June 2026. Bring in a boatload of money right now. Let's see. What would Palantir give you if you were to do a covered call on Palantir, right? Because you're holding on to your shares and you think in your heart, it's going to go to 200, right? And you're like, I'm waiting for it to hit 200. I have some coworkers that actually hold Palantir, and they were sick to their stomach when it went down to like 70 bucks from 100 or 120. And they were like, oh, I should have sold. And it's like, nobody tells you to sell, but you could have made you could have taken a different approach and made a different decision. And I told them about covered calls. Now, they haven't called me and said they sold covered calls. They're probably still holding on to the stock, thinking it's going to go to 200. And when it goes down to like 120 again, they're going to be again sick to their stomach. But this is just this is why we do what we do. There's not many of us option writers out there, and so let's see. You wanted to take advantage of Palantir in the move right now, right? You could sell a call, a $200 call, right this minute, and bring in $2,230. Essentially, you're selling at $2,230, at $222.30. That's what you're doing. You're taking advantage of what the market is giving you. And if you were to sell a covered call with Palantir, just the one, and selling at $200, that's basically what you're saying to the market. Is I'm selling you my shares in the future for $222. I'm sorry, for $200 on January 16th, 2026. And you could ask for $22.30. What is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing, right? And that's Palantir. But AI being at $17, man, it's such a gift. I mean, gosh, somebody got $350 for a 1750 cash secure put on AI expiring September. I mean, that's a month from now. If somebody got $350 for a 1750 put, that's 20%. That's crazy. They got 20% to buy Palantir at $17.50 a month from now. That's insane. And that wasn't me. I got like 305 or something like that. And then, I started selling. I sold for 305, 3, and I think 290 and 280. I think 273 was the last one. But I mean, dude, this is god damn. And also, I'm sitting on some AI $25 puts. I thought about rolling those for any of you guys that have C3.AI $25 cash secure puts, and they expire in September. Cross your arms, because right now, if you were to roll, I personally would roll to January if I was to roll those, right? And the premiums are not that great. Like, even if you were to roll for the $25 and the same strike date and same strike, you would bring in like 35 cents. That's insane. That's just, there's no way. Don't do that to yourself. If anything, put those shares, and then, right now, write some 1750s or some 15s and dare the market to put those shares to you so that you can average down. And that's how I play this. This is why I didn't buy these back, because I'm just going to the same date so that I can, get these 1750s. Realistically, they're going to be like at $14, right? That's going to be my break even price. And then with $25, they're going to average those. And then, the shares are probably going to be closer to like $18, right? After all the numbers are crunched, which is great. 18, 19 bucks for a stock that should be 30 to 35, $40. I mean, I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm a long-term holder, right? Anything that any company I invest in is a company that I'm willing to hold for at least 5 years, and that should be the goal for people that watch me. Don't go in and try to do the daily thing, zero dates to expiry, buying calls, that are going to expire in 2 weeks. That's gambling. You're basically throwing your money away. Do you guys want to know what brokerages and just those that are like in Wall Street call us? They call us benefactors, basically. They know that I think 90% of retail is just adding to the value of their shares, and they know that 90% of retail investors are not going to make money. They're actually going to lose money, right? And they call us dummies, dumb money. I mean, there's literally a movie made about retail investors, right? It's that GME movie, Dumb Money. But I mean, that's what they think of us, right? So don't fall into the trap of get rich quick schemes, right? Like this is something that you take, and you learn from, and you build a foundation. And the way you build a foundation is by figuring out how to sell cash secure puts, right? And then daring the market to put those shares to you. And once those shares are put to you, wait for like this is my formula. I wait for a day that the stock pops 5 to 10%. And I have to sell above what my break-even price was. So if they were, my shares are averaging just as the number. If my shares are, they cost $18, I'm gonna sell a $20 covered call out a couple of months, and I'm gonna try to bring in $2 or more per contract, right? So that's $200. And if I sell 10 of those contracts, that's $2,000 that I'll bring in. And I use those $2,000 however I see fit. Don't become dumb money. Don't just fill these fat cats of Wall Street. Don't fill their pockets, man. Don't gamble. Don't buy calls. Don't buy puts. Don't do 0 day till expiry type of contracts, because if you are somebody that does 0 day to expiry contracts, I want you to, for the last 2 months, if you've been trading for a month or two, I want you to jot down all your losses and all your gains and average them, right? Add them up and see exactly how much money you really have made. And is it worth you being, in front of the screen 24/7 from 6:30 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 1 p.m. every day? Is it worth it? Is it worth all the cups of coffee and the caffeine and all the energy pills that you take, the ulcers you're gonna get, the anxiety, the trouble sleeping? Is it worth it? And I'm going to go and say no. I like my approach. It's an approach that is fairly conservative, and it's taking care of your money, right? And it's basically using your collateral, which is your money, to make more money, so that you can buy stock that you want anyways, right? I mean, I love Nvda, I love AMD, I love Tesla, Microsoft, Apple. Those are great companies. But why would you buy them at 52-week highs when you could wait for a day that they, just like C3.AI did today, that it drops 30% for whatever reasons, as long as it's not insider trading, as long as not the CEO caught in some ridiculous scandal, if the fundamentals of the company have not changed, right? If the company has not cheated in their taxes, if they haven't cooked the books, if it's just an overall overreaction at that, why wouldn't you think of this as a sale? It boggles my mind how sometimes their sales, like on Prada or Gucci, right? Let's think of these as like the blue chip stocks, right? Prada or Gucci or Louis Vuitton, right? They go on sale every once in a while for whatever reasons, and they go 30% off, 40% off, and then you see lines out the door of people that are just begging for these companies to take their money, and thus becoming part of like some marketing scheme. Because have you seen those bags, those Chanel bags and Gucci and Louis Vuitton? They have these big ass logos. So basically walking around giving them free exposure, and they're not paying you anything. Like, if anything, you're paying thousands of dollars for these bags. That boggles my mind, because if there's a sale on stock that you want, and you have to look at it like that, like an opportunity, like a sale, why wouldn't you go into this store and be like, shit, what I want? Ooh, I want C3.AI. I want some Intel. Ooh, let me see, what else do I want? I want some AMD would be cool. Like, why? Some Tesla. Tesla hit $300 like a couple of weeks ago, because they crapped the bed during earnings. I mean, why wouldn't you take that same approach? That's how I look at days like today. It's a fucking fire sale. And I just went in and I just said, you know what? I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I had money on the side, and I just went in. And as soon as I went in, I just threw my stink bits in, right? Then I went in and I raised cash. I look at what stocks I've written cash secure puts on, and that are at a nice and healthy percentage. And somewhere, I think it was like 17% in the positive, and they expire in like January. And I said, you know what? I already got 17% in the last 2-3 weeks. I'm not going to wait 3, 4, 5 months. Let me get that money now. Cash secure put, closed, and I just did that for, I told you guys, I did it for Rivian, for Sound. I did it for, let's see here, Rivian, Sound, TerraWolf. TerraWolf is one that's recovered today. Mara Holdings, Red Cat, Webull, GameStop. Webull is a pop. Webull has popped today. And, I told you guys last week, I was like, you know what? I'm going back in. I know that I've done my due diligence. And today it popped, let's see. It popped almost 8% today. So today would have been a great day to sell some covered calls, right? Which I did. And that's okay. That's how you play this game. And I also had some cash secure puts. I had some 1250s that I closed, and I had some 15s that I closed. I didn't close them all. I didn't want to just completely leave that position, right? But I closed a lot of them. And then, anyways, I raised capital so that I could then take that capital, and I just went in heavy on C3.AI. The freaking sale, and my cash secure puts are already at 30 or 40%. From this morning. Could I go and buy them back right now, right this second? I really could. And you know what? It would be smart to, because I'm taking money off the table. But I'm not going to, because I just believe that this company doesn't belong here at all. So it's either free money or I'm going to get put those shares. I'm daring the market to either give me those freaking shares in September and October, or give me all my collateral money back. You have to take a stand, right? And you have to know what you hold. And this is why I was telling you guys, don't be scared to take a position like that, because, sometimes you have to take a little risk so that the reward is higher. I'm very conservative in the approach that I'm taking too, because I'm doing 1750 cash secure puts right? The stock is at 16 now. It was at 15 then. And I basically said, okay, well, my average is in the 14s anyways. So if anything, I'm buying the shares at 14, the ones that I got over $3 for, that were 1750s. Now I could write some 20s, but I'm gonna give it some weeks and see how the stock moves and what it's telling me, right? And if then, when the time has shrunk and these are 80% at 90, then I probably will close them. And instead of 1750s, I'll do 19s or 20s out to like October. But I'm gonna see what the market is telling me. I already took the premium that I generated from these cash secure puts and I bought shares. So like I'm already winning. I closed all my covered calls. If this was to go to 2021, I'm already winning, right? If it goes to like 21 or 22, then I'll sell some more covered calls. Probably the same ones that I had out, which is 30s or 20. I may go to 25s in January, and dare the market to take them. And if it runs again, I'll roll those 25s to 30s. That's just the way that you make money. It's just I'm using my stock as collateral and my cash as collateral to grow my portfolio, right? But now I know instead of writing a couple of dozen C3.AI, contracts, I'm gonna write, like 10 more, growing my portfolio and bringing in more money, more cash, so that I can use it as I see fit. That's how you make a move, right? And I know for a fact that Wing Commander has taken the plunge, and he's sitting pretty because he sold some $15 cash secure puts. I know because I read that on the Discord, Tovin, and so he's already up like 50%. I'm sure he's up like 50% because those premiums were moving so drastically. They went from 350 to 325 to 3 to 275. It's just that it moved that quickly because people were just gorging on the shares. They were just gorging on these shares. And why wouldn't you? The insiders know that this stock does not belong in $14, $15 land at all. What is our volume today? 48 million shares have been traded thus far. We've only been open for 2 hours, right? 48 million have already been traded. The average is 6.7 million. There's not that many shares available for C3.AI. The float is very small, and it's already traded 48 million. That's like 5 times what it usually trades at. That tells you all you need to know. And the price is following the stock because it went down and there was not that much stock that was sold, and it went down, so it created a divergence. But now that it's recovering, the more volume it's creating, the more expensive the stock is. That's not a divergence. The shares, the price is following the volume upwards. That is not a divergence. That tells you right there that everything is healthy. It's neat. It's moving the right way. This is the direction that you want. Now it's at $17.20 now, right? It was just at $16.90. It's up 30 cents, just like that. And it's going to keep going up. If we close at 18, I would not be surprised. Whoever bought a 1450 is a fucking G. You are a G. And my hat goes off to you, sir or ma'am, because you know that this stock is a $30, $40 stock easily right now. And this stock will be $100. It will be $100 a share. And I don't know when. Nobody has. If I knew when, I wouldn't be here, right? But again, you have to know what you hold. You have to do your due diligence and just see the type of company it is, right? All right. So JJ is saying, I'm more of a degenerate than a simpleton. You know what? Simpletons and degenerates are welcome on the channel. Scallywags too, man. So I usually say, good morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. But I'm gonna go to good morning, my fellow simpletons, degenerates, and scallywags. Let's make some money. All right. So it's all good, JJ. Wing Commander saying thoughts on CEDG. It yo-yos around. I sell cash account puts below 20 and buy back when it goes up. That's what you're supposed to do. Is that such way? Let me see. SEDG, you said? Yeah. So Solar Edge. I like Clean Spark better. CLSK. It's cheaper. Um, but right now, just like with Enphase, man, I don't have that much of an exposure there, but I have an exposure. Just because I want to see how it moves, but because of the administration and how they put solar and battery power cars in the background, right? I'm not gonna take that big of a position just yet. I want to see, what the next year brings. I'm waiting for them to cut rates, and that's another thing. You have to pay attention to the macros, right? And I believe now there's talks of 3 rate cuts this year. There were 2 that were in the books, so to speak, and now they're talking about a third one, and that's really good. So if we cut rates, September, if we cut rates in October, and I think for Christmas, it's going to be like a gift that Trump is going to give us. He's going to try, I think, and use all his political weight to get at least 3 cuts. And for December is going to be the last one. And he's basically going to say, I'm giving it as a Christmas gift. And I think the Santa rally is going to be kind of contingent upon that. But if we do have 3 rate cuts this year, I think that's going to be very telling. And it's going to be basically, more money for these companies, right? They'll be able to borrow money cheaper. I think whenever we are at 2.5%, we'll see how the market reacts, right? Because nobody knows how the markets are going to react, but I think it's going to be good for a lot of small caps and mid caps because they'll be able to borrow a lot more money for cheaper, right? So I really haven't been, Solar Edge is on my watch list, but I haven't really been following it as much. It's a company headquartered in Tel Aviv. Average volume 4 million. Right now the volume is 1.4 million traded. I mean, let's see, the 52-week low is $10. The 52-week high is $32. So kind of it's sitting kind of in the middle. It's up and to the high of the middle. So yeah, I think going under 20, it's kind of if it's a stock token that you've been trading for like a couple of years, I think at this point you have a better grip on how it moves, right? And I see nothing wrong with that. And that's for anybody out there that's watching me right now, right? One of 23 or 22 people that are watching me right now. Look, nobody has a better your interest at heart better than you, right? So if you come up on a couple of companies that even I haven't heard of or anybody else, but you've been trading and it's making money for you. If it's not broken, don't fix it. I don't know enough about it to have like thoughts on it, right? So I don't want to just speak out of the side of my mouth, but I think that I think if it's working for you, I think that's great. I keep making money. It's at 24.90 right now. It's 25, so I'm guessing those $20 cash account puts are you already bought back, which is great. It's been kind to me, but I am not in a rush to get it. The fundamentals are a bit shaky, but premiums are good. Last time it crashed together with Enphase down to 15, and I sold some December 15s for $4 plus. That's wonderful, man. That's great. Win Commander, I think that's a good move. Anytime you get almost a third of your return on investment right off the bat for going out 3 months, 4 months, I think that's a win, man. This is a great stock for you. I'm gonna follow it a little closer. Keep telling me more about it. I like it. I think that's a great move. What else do we have here? Oh, bought the bag 2 weeks ago for 1.3 after 6 weeks. Oh, that's great. That's great. And Wing Commander forgot about Sound cash secure puts. Well, you better buy them back now because it's ripping. So right now would probably be a good time to buy them back. Mando number 5 is in the house saying hi, y'all. How you doing, Mando? Good morning, my friend. Kilo Dre's in the house saying good morning. Wing Commander saying I gotta get my kid to bed. Let me stink them. That's awesome, dude. This is one of the reasons that I am so curious to move from the United States for a year or two, and I'm looking at places in like Europe and Asia because the trading day would actually begin for me like at 9 p.m. And that's awesome because I really do make most of my moves in the first 2.5 hours, right? So like imagine waking up in the morning, having your breakfast, playing with your kids, sending them off to school, spending some time with your significant other, right? In my case, my wife, and like going shopping or something, or like, going while the kids are at school, just us going to a movie or something, just living life, right? And then lunch, dinner with the kids again, pick them up from school, just tucking them in, for the evening to go to bed. And then I work from 10 to 12, right? And then I go to sleep. So like that to me is like the ultimate trading experience. Like you can do anything, during the day. You can go to the beach, you can go to restaurants, you can go to like a nice hotel, you can travel. I mean, there's so many things you can do, right? And then you trade from 10 p.m. to like midnight and you're done. You go to sleep at a reasonable hour. That's around the time that I go to sleep anyways, it's 11 or 12 p.m. It's awesome. You basically can have a whole life, right? And in the time that it takes you to see a movie, you've made money and you're done. And sometimes it'll take me half an hour, being on the computer, making some bread, and then I'm out. This is exactly what I'm talking about, folks. This is possible. This is possible. It can absolutely happen. But you got to make a decision, right? This is what Uncle Bruce preaches, which is, take control of your life. And I agree with that. Take control of your life. Grab it by the horns, right? So to speak, grab the bull by the horns, and ride the motherfucker. And make a lot of money and live your life and don't be a slave from the 9 to 5, and if you do have 9 to 5, great, work your ass off, make as much money as possible so you could dump it into the stock market. Make sure you max out your 401k, especially if they meet you at 100%, right, and one-on-one. Put as much as possible. It's free money. And then once you're ready to take that step, move maybe half your 401k into like, a Charles Schwab account, retirement fund, and then you start, moving the numbers as you see fit and buying the companies that you want and take over the 401k and watch it flourish, right? It's possible. I know because I've done it, right? So, Tobin, say good night to your kitties. Tell them Uncle Savage says good night, kitties. Don't let the bed bugs bite, and be quiet so Daddy can work. AI kind of follows PLTR Brooklyn with defense contracts, etc. So much. I know that, Tobin. I know that, Wind Commander. They do follow a lot of the blueprint, and this is the thing. And I know that people may not believe this, but C3.AI can beat Palantir. C3.AI can do what Palantir does, but Palantir cannot do what C3.AI does. And people just can't get it. But if you look at their fundamentals, you look at what the companies do, you are able to see why C3.AI was able to take a couple of contracts away from Palantir in the past. It's done it. There's a reason. People that know, but because of um, the person that helms Palantir um, being so close to the White House, I think um, that's why it's jumping so much. You know, let's see here. Peter Thiel, that's what it is. I keep forgetting his. I know his name. Peter Thiel. He's a big Republican donor. Him and Jared Kushner, him and Donald Trump Jr. and Donald Trump, they're very good friends. And I mean, make no mistake, there's a reason that Palantir is getting all these contracts. And that's one of the reasons that Palantir is jumping so much, right? And Tom Siebel has taken more of a backseat when it comes to moving and shaking C3.AI because he's sick. He's very sick, and he's telling you. I mean, he's actually put out a statement. That's why C3.AI went down so much the last month and a half. But again, it is what it is, right? So at this point, it's just you can load up on C3.AI, take a good position, uh, average down if you bought them in the 30s and 25s. Just add shares and build your portfolio, you know, because this is one of the savage stocks, man. And I don't know if I want to do savage 10 or savage 20 just yet, but this would be one of the top three. I really like the company. I really like what it does. I like how the company um, goes about doing business, and I like their fundamentals, right? And right now the price, holy crap! I didn't know that. I didn't think that Palantir was ever going to see. C3.ai was going to see $15 again, but it did. And this is what I did last time. What I did last time was I was a little more conservative because I thought he was going to spend a lot longer in the $15 and $14 land, and then he just ran away. I'm taking a stand now, and that's why I went so heavy on it today. You know, and that's okay. That's just because I know this stock. I've been trading for 3 years. I know how it moves, and it's a cash cow. It's a cash cow. I bought the stock back the calls that I sold for cheaper than my last rollover was. And I've been rolling them over for like a year now, at least these calls. And I bought them back for cheaper than my last roll was. That's how you make money. That's how you take money off the table, right? And that's like it's a dream. When you still have over a year on the contract and you're able to buy it for like less than what the last rollover was, it's insane. And I'm happy. Um, Spalair TV is in the house. Spalair, what is up, my dude? Good morning or good Tag. I think you're in Europe, so you probably it's late afternoon for you or evening. So, what up, my friend? Spalair is saying CGC is up 29%. I don't know who CGC is. Let's check it out, my friend. CGC is Canopy Growth. The weed stock. I mean, if that's where you want to put your money, I think that's great. I think you have been trading this since it was like 20 cents a share or something, right? I think that's great, man. Like I was saying, you know, everyone has a specific stock or two that they've been trading for a while and they're familiar with. That's great. You know, don't let nobody tell you if you know what the stock is doing, how it moves, and you're familiar with it. Don't let nobody tell you shouldn't invest in that company, especially if you've been making money. You know what you know. You have to have conviction, which is why all these people are like these talking heads on TV saying, "Oh, well, it's the earnings are weak and then the outlook is very weak with C3.AI, blah 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 blah." And like I have never heard them talk about C3.AI, you know. But it's the same way how Chiarini was poo-pooing on Sofi saying it's a $3 stock, right? And I think oh gosh, this guy with Wedbush, Trying to remember his name, but he's an analyst with Wedbush saying that the SoFi did not deserve to be anywhere near $5, and then he changed from $3 to $4 his price target, and SoFi's like a $10, and you laugh, because these people are just talking heads, man. I'm sure they have an agenda. So yeah, either way, don't let nobody tell you what to do with your holding, especially if you're done your due diligence and you've been trading a stock for years. You know how it moves. Keep it going. Jay, you saying now I gotta get me a Louis Vuitton hat. Oh shit! Give away some free money, but you know what? I'm quite frugal when it comes to like buying clothes and stuff. Um, but I did take the plunge and bought my wife a Louis Vuitton bag. And the thing is that I bought a Louis Vuitton bag that doesn't look like a Louis Vuitton bag because I didn't want her to like have the logo. Like I thought that looks cheesy. So I went to the assistant and I said, you know what? I really want to buy something for my wife. Um, but I don't want it to be like everybody else. She's like, oh, okay, you want the classy look? She's like, I think I have something for you. Is she conservative? I was like, no, not really, but she does. She works in finance and she's not overtly loud, and I wouldn't want her to look like she's marketing anything. And to kind of keep a low profile, right? Kind of like quiet comfort, so to speak, and yet, just a nice bag. And she gave me this big black bag that's made out of leather, and it has a tiny little LD in the corner that you can't even see. And it's such a well-made bag, and it kind of transforms into like 2 or 3 different bags, depending on how like you move some little belts it has. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so I bought that for her, and she was very happy with that bag. So that's the one and only time that I've ever spent like that much money. I think it was like $3,000. But this was like years ago, so that bag is worth a lot more now. Let me tell you, it's just incredible to me how they can double the price of things and then nothing changes, right? But then again, the price of eggs, same thing, right? You get the same eggs within a month, they're like double. That's crazy. Inflation for you. Blair saying happy that I sold a $2 bag last week for 1.3. Uh, that's great. Wing Commander saying buying calls on AI this morning would not have been a bad idea. You know what? I have to agree with you on that. I do have to agree with you, and especially leaps. I wouldn't say buying calls like expiring next week or like in September even, but definitely some calls expiring even like January 2026, I would say. But definitely leaps that were expiring in like 2027. Buying those calls, like some $20 calls or some $17, $50 calls expiring 2027 on AI, that would be a great move. And I mean, I honestly, the stock is so cheap. I just want the shares. I want the stock, right? But if I see nothing wrong with that, man. And I know I'm going against what I usually say, which is don't gamble. But is it really a gamble whenever you see something that's like an opportunity like this, right? And you just want to maximize, especially if you're going to turn those calls into shares. I see nothing wrong with that at all. Waiting for those calls to, go up 50, 100%, maybe 200%, selling them and then doing a cash secure put. Nothing wrong with that at all. I agree with you, Tobin. Definitely. Blair saying, what do you think about Canopy Growth and now the upcoming earnings and growth? I don't follow them. I can't speak on something I don't follow, my friend. But I'm sure that you do. And I would kind of defer to you on that because I just don't follow them. There's so much other stuff out there. Did not buy at 14x, but I did buy at 1512. That's great. You know what? That's great, Wing Commander. I think 1512 was a great buy, man. It just moves so fast, right? That's what AI does. It's like I think everybody's alarm was set at $15. Everybody probably got an alert at $15, and they were just went heavy, especially the algos. I mean these funds that have been itching to buy C3.AI in 28, 29. I think they went in heavy. And I mean, look, the stock is already traded over 50 million shares, right? That's like what almost 8 times, 9 times what it usually trades. I mean, that's insane. And it's probably going to trade. I'm looking for 100 million at the end of the day, but we'll see. We come in saying also 16 because this movie is just too much. Agreed. I bought at 14, 15, and my last ones were at, I think 15.99 or 16. But I agree. It's just it took time for some cover calls or cash and puts to trigger, and I kept moving them. I know you're not supposed to chase, but it's just like I said. It's just at that point I was buying the shares at 14 because of the cash and puts. Right once the break even happens, or like 14.50 or 7 or 15. So like that's a no brainer. So that's what I was waiting on. Um, Let's see. Lisa is in the house. Lisa Sasa, what up, homie? I know you're from the Uncle Brew crew. What's up? All right, Savage, about that C3.AI dip in the 14, 15. I say, good for you. Good for you. All right, man. Good for you, Lisa. That's how you do it, man. You know, it's a stock that we've been following for a long time, and it's such a gift right now, right? And buying it in the 15, $16 land, it's wonderful. Even if it retraces to 16, it goes down $1 from where it is. It's just consolidating. It's consolidating at this point. And so just take advantage of the consolidation. I'm going to see if I can move some stuff around tomorrow. I'm going to start today, obviously, but because if C3.AI is still at 17 or 16 tomorrow, I want to go in and make some more moves, man. I'm looking at closing some Archer, maybe some SQQ calls that I have that I bought, even for a loss. I may just take the loss there so that I can move that capital in buy shares of C3.AI or put them on some cash secure puts, maybe steal some 1750s and not maybe some 20s expiring in 2026, right? January. Why not? It's free. It's free money. Like it's free money at this point. Why not? I'm looking to close some NVTS maybe. RX 919 cash secure puts. I have some sixes that are going to expire. I'm up on those like 40%. I may get rid of. I really want RX under $6 though. I've been rolling these for a while now, and my cost basis, my break even is like $4. So it's just that's another gift. I mean, it's a company that I'm very bullish on. There's another Savage, one of the Savage stocks is RXRX, and it's such an opportunity here, and it's one of my babies, man. I've been trading for a couple of years, and it's just consolidating. But notice if you guys look at the graphs, right? It's a stock that the lows are higher now, and that's what you want. Basically, that's healthy for a stock, right? To have lower highs because that means that there's more support there. That's what we're looking at. AI 1750 puts. I'm very nicely up on those, already at 20%. That's crazy in a day. That's crazy. My Weeble, I still have some Weeble cash secure puts out there. If Weeble goes up another 8, 9, 10% tomorrow, I may close those and take that money for C3.AI, man. Weeble is another company it's going to be a Savage stock. I'm very bullish on that, and I do know that I kind of poo-pooed on them in the past because of who they signed a contract with. But at the end of the day, man, I honestly don't think it's that bad of a move. This company is creating revenue. This company is international. Weeble is taking Robin Hood's lunch. So it's sitting at $16 right now. It's such a gift. The stock was like $79 with an IPO, and right now. Oh, speaking of IPOs, what is Figma doing today? Let's see here. Figma is on my radar, my friends. See, I knew I should have. Well, it's in 81. I think the lowest was $78. I'm waiting for it to hit $60, $50 a share. Once it gets to $50, $60 a share, I think it's going to be I'm definitely going to look at some $50 cash secure puts, man. I really like the company. I like what they're about. It's just it's a company it may become a savage stock too. GME. GME is just GME, right? At this point, it's just sitting at 22, to $23. It just goes up and down. I closed some cash secure puts to generate some cash today for C3.AI. I'm daring the market to put these shares to me. I have some 23s expiring in September, and I have some 23s expiring in October. And those are up, but I mean, it's under 23. I think it's going to trade at this channel for like another month. I'm begging to be put those shares to me. I have nothing written on GME as far as covered calls. So if it, for whatever reasons, it decides to rip to 25, I'm going to sell some 30s for 2026 and bring in some cash. And hopefully, if C3.AI happens to be at $17, $18 land, then I'm going to put the cash on C3.AI. I just really want the stock. If I could get me another 3,000 shares of C3.AI in the next month or two, I'll be okay with that. I will totally be okay with that. This is one that's been punching me in the mouth. Is Newsmax. Newsmax is down. My break-even price for some $20 cash secure puts, it's at 13.10. So at this point, I'm $1.60 underwater, $1.50 underwater. So it's all right. I made the decision to sell those cash secure puts for like almost $7, and I thought that was a great idea. That was a good move. And now the stock is sitting at 11.50, and I'm you know what? Sometimes your calls sometimes are good, sometimes they're not the greatest. But see, I have until October 17th. That's when they expire. So gotta have patience. The market is doing whatever it's doing. For all I know, this stock, it looks like it's consolidating in the $12 and $13 land, and it's filling gaps. It's filling gaps. The 52-week low for Newsmax is $10. I think it may come down to the tens and consolidate even more, and then it'll go back up to 14, 15. I want to get put those shares because the premiums are so good with Newsmax, and if I do happen to get put those $20 cash secure puts, their cost basis is going to be 13.10. Then I'll sell some 15s for January, and bring in money that way. So I'll just wheel it. No big deal. All right, let's see what we got going here. Lisa Sasa, great move. Chase Rosita Parker is in the house. Good morning, Rosita. How you doing? I hope you're doing great. Dude is saying close some profitable puts on Sofi. Gonna wait till deploy again. I think it's great. JJ saying, speaking of hats, Savage Domo is down almost 10% today. Is it really? I just got it because it was a free hat. Oh, it is. It is. Software offers customized software tools for business operations. Yeah, I know. I know what they are. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. But you know what? There's not that many shares available, man. You know what? I want to follow it. It's not one of the ones I follow actually, but I want to start following it. The 52-week low is $6. 52-week high. So it came from a 62-week high, or a 52-week high. I'm sorry. Profit taking. It looks like, but again, it's just based on what I see. Did they have earnings? I see hedge funds are buying it bigly. Yeah. So I think we're gonna start following it and see what it does. Well, the premiums. Let's see what the premiums look like. If I was to sell a $14 put, I get $1.15. Premiums are not the greatest. What is the IV? 77. Okay, I'll bite. I'll have a look see and have it on my watch list. Why not? Let's see here. Lisa saying you can buy an AI code January 2026 strike $30 for 65 cents. Oh, really? Yes, you can. Oh. You know what? It's not a terrible idea. I mean, if you have a couple of $100 that you want to gamble, not a terrible idea, I'll say. Why not? You do have a few months. Yeah, not a terrible idea at all. I don't see anything wrong with that, Lisa. I don't think that C3.AI is going to stay here for like a month. I think it's going to go back to 20 and kind of consolidate in the 20s again. A lot of paper-handed Weenie babies sold, man. That's just the bottom line. A lot of paper-handed Weenie babies sold, and they're going to find out, that they're sad now. Whoever sold the 1450s is kicking themselves in the head right now. Because they sold, they could have just, this is why we do cover calls, guys. This is why we do cover calls. This is why we bring big chunks because of moves like this. And I know that there's some of you out there that are like, oh man, I like to do weeklies because it's more money percentage wise if you average it per year. But it's not really, because contingent upon the stock staying there, of course. But the stocks that we follow are so volatile and the float is so low that it moves, and it has violent moves to the upside and the downside. This is why you do big chunks. Just look at the cash secure puts that I sold were like in the 320s or something like that. The biggest one was 350. I think Tolin sold it like 365 for a cash secure put. That's worth like $2 now. So it's just, it gyrates so fast. This is why you take big chunks. He's already made 30-40% in a day. He can close them now, but he's probably going to dare the market to get those shares at 15 or 16 bucks because he wants the shares. It's insane that C3.AI went there so fast. Moneymaker Juan is in the house saying, good morning, sold some AI $15 cash secure puts for January and got $2 for them. Bravo, my friend. Free money. Free money. You're getting easily, 15%, 10, 12 and a half to 15% for free. I mean, no bank is going to give you that. Yeah, I didn't write 15s just because I don't think that the stock is going to be there, especially like by September is not going to be there, right? It's not there now, but I want to dare the market to put those shares to me. But I mean, free money, that's free money. Why not? They're giving it to you. These dumbass dummies out there are giving it to you, right? The dumb money is giving it to you. Take it. You're the casino. F it. Blair saying, come to Poland if you like colder weather and nature. Our hotel invite is on my channel. I already have a little bit viewable. I wrote in some road season 2. Looking further to add more of it. I think that's great. If I ever make my way out there, Blair, for sure, I'm hitting you up, man. For sure. By the way, rock love. All good, my man. Open market is 15.30. It's relaxed. It then goes up till 22. Got it. Ricardo Canales is saying, savage. Spiller is saying that Peter Thiel is German. That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me one bit. It's 6:24 over there in where's Polaris, and okay, yeah, that's cool. You start trading around 5 p.m. from 5 to like 8 p.m. You know, that's like around dinner time, but some people do like late dinners over there, so totally cool. Wing Commander saying trading in Europe is decent. I have my work for now until they decide to get rid of me. I don't think they got rid of you. Trading starts at 10 a.m. for pre-market, 10:30 market opens, so 10 p.m. market close. So you basically would have the whole morning to yourself. I think that's great. You know, it'll be kind of like a pain in the neck trying to get the kids from school. So you'll see how to do that, at least for me, but that's not bad at all. Dude is saying Alex Karp is a C. I know Alex Karp. He's kind of the guy is very bright, man. I actually did my research on him, and he's a good CEO. He's a good CEO. He's very eccentric, and that's kind of what you want on a CEO. You want somebody that's just balls to the wall, all about the company, and like just deals with the company, and that's all they think about. I think that's great. I like Alex Karp. Spiller is saying, I think the 50 cents will tell you when I'm in my taxes again. All right, it's all good. This is really a reason to laugh. Thanks for your thoughts. You got it, brother. Louis Vuitton bags are similar, skyrocketing always. I agree. I agree. Um, Sorry, you have to skip it. It's all good. Ken's mom is saying, nice. I love Louis. Yeah, man, those are good. They're good bags. My wife loves it. And it's she beats the shit out of it, and it's still like brand new. They're so tough. I think she's had 3 kids, and she's put Pampers in them all, and like she just dusts it a little bit, and it looks like brand new. It's a really well made bag. Very expensive bag. Ricardo Canales has bought 3 more BBAI cash secure puts for $8 strikes for 150 till August 9. Is BBAI at $8 or is it at 7? I think it was closer to 7 when I saw it, but I could be wrong. Let's see here. It's 7.27. Okay, so you really want the shares? I get it. I get it. I would have gone with the $8 uh, strike and the expiring December for 250. I would have asked for 250, 245. You know, you it's still. I mean, I think that the stock will be around that area, that channel, anywhere from 6 to 8 at that time. So you're getting paid, over 25% to buy a company that you want. I mean, I would have gone there, but I mean, if you want the shares, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you're getting them earlier. You can always roll. So I see nothing. I see nothing wrong with that. No problem getting a nice premium, which looks like almost 20%. You'll be getting a return on investment. You're a little in the money, right? But you can always roll, and that's when you can do weeklies and keep getting 19 cents, 20 cents. I did that with RXRX. I see no problem with that. Splair saying no problem. Thought maybe you're into GoPro. I just started recently and following it. Nah, I can't say I am. There's so many other stocks, right? And there's just so much competition when it comes to GoPro. Everyone has a phone. I mean, I don't know. I honestly have not looked into it. Hector saying SoFi's at 23. It's gonna be at 24 and 25. I'm really not into SoFi right now because I'm so like into C3.AI being where it is right now. And it's crazy to me that SoFi is worth more than C3.AI. But we all knew what SoFi was going to do, right? We knew SoFi's a $50 stock. Everybody knew it's a $40, $50 stock. But it's just, you have to have conviction. Imagine when people were telling you to sell SoFi at $4, $5 and saying, stock's not going anywhere. Just cut your losses. What if you would have sold at 8? You averaged down to like 7s and sold at 8 just because you wanted to put a plug and it was too much of an anxiety causer, right? So But look, the stock's at $23. This is why you guys have to have conviction. This is what everyone has to have conviction, right? And you know what you hold. Maybe I buy 10 AI if Canopy gets to 1.7. I think that's fine. Let's buy some stragglers. Price is very lucrative when it's normally at 22 plus. Absolutely. Yes, Blair, you're right. CKT saying January 27, $15 cash gear puts already up 10% on. It's crazy. Yeah, it's moving, man. It's moving. Let's see here. Wing Commander saying, just told my kid that Uncle Savage says, good knock, good talk, good knock. Okay, right on. Beach Boy is in the house. What up, Beachy? How you doing, man? You're kind of late to the party, bro. Dude is saying, all right, everyone, happy trading. Gotta have run. Peace out, dude. I'll see you later. All right, for me too. Happy trading and relaxed week to you all. I'm looking further make it a 4-day week myself. Spler, take it easy, brother. Spler TV saying phones and do-it-yourself are already a good competition, especially with my Sony phone. I agree. Yep. Splares. Anyways, have a good day, y'all. Have a good day, Splair. Ricardo saying August 29, not August 9. Okay, right on. Yeah, guys. So very interesting day in the market. You know, AMD and Nvda are going to be charged 15% more as far as tariffs go whenever they deal with China and selling those chips internationally in the Chinese markets. So I don't know why the stock is up. You know, maybe I do know. Maybe because it's certainty. Maybe because this is giving us some type of certainty, and it gives investors and the overall market something, right? And now they're like, okay, so now we know we have to pay a 10 or 15% tariff on these chips. Great. Now we know where to go. You know, now we know what to look forward to. There is no uncertainty. For certain, we're going to pay 15%. That may be it. The markets don't like uncertainty, right? And this gives you kind of a number. Now, is it going to stay here? We don't know. Is it going to be a taco situation? We don't know. But we do know that the companies have agreed and they're okay with that, meaning probably they'll stay here. And that gives, the market some respite. That gives these companies, a benchmark, so to speak. And now they know how to conduct business, right? Because there's something clear, or as clear as it can get, that they can now do business, right? Let's see here. Sofi is 22.88 right now. AI is 17.10. Unity is 34.06. You guys remember when Unity was $14 a share? I was pounding the table, telling people to please buy the shares. Not financial advice again. I was saying I was buying the shares, and I was like, man, if somebody wanted to get paid in the future, they may want to buy some at the 14th and 15th like I am, right? So there it is. Now it's 34. So it's up $20 since then, right? RXRX is sitting at 540. Some $5 cash secure puts could be money makers. You could do some $5 cash secure puts expire in October. And you would bring, actually, there is no October. You go December. So $5 cash secure puts will bring you in almost $1 right now. You could ask for $1, 20% for your troubles. The stock is sitting at 540. It would have to come down almost 10% for you to be in the money, and then you have to wait. So at this point, it's all time premium. There's nothing wrong with that at all, right? Let's see here. Rivian is at $12. It was like 11 something last week, and this morning it's recovering. I bought back some cash secure puts during that big spike, and I made some money. SOXS is obviously down because it's a semiconductor bear leveraged fund, and so let's see what happens. GME is 22.48. Archer is down. Archer is down not much today. SMCI, our baby, is up 3.3%. I have some cash secure puts on it, and I have $50 and $45 cover calls that are just marinating there, expiring 2027, and I'm doing nothing with those. I'm daring somebody to exercise them, and I'm just waiting. My average is in the 20s, so I'm okay selling it, you know. Roblox is $131. I have some cover calls. I have some 70s. Those are gone. But I mean, premium. I mean, you know what? My average on Roblox is, what's my average on Roblox? 29.90. I mean, take them, take them. Sentinel One is down, and Sentinel One is a company that I really like, man, and I think it's cheap right now. Some cash secure puts may not be terrible. Um, I had some $22 covered calls out to 2027, and I rolled them back to 18s, expiring January, and I brought in some more cash. My average is in the 15s. I mean, I'm just letting it happen at this point. I'm going to do some cash secure puts on it. Riot is at 11.32. Lucid is up a little today. It's up 5%. Lucid, I'm holding. I'm basically holding the bag because I got greedy, and I oinked around just a little too much, thinking it was going to go to 4, and it didn't, and I got caught. And that's what happens when you pig around and you find out. You pig around and find out. Open is up today, 12%. For you guys that are holding open, this would be a great time to sell some $3 cash secure or covered calls expiring January. I wouldn't advise selling some cash secure puts. I did last week when it was like 160, 170, and I said you could write some white 150s out to like September, October, and bring in a nice chunk of change. Right now, you could close those. But BBAI is up 1% today. Nothing to write home about. Oh man, IOBANS is down today. What? I honestly saw it recover a little bit and it's coming back down. So we'll see what happens. PROP is up 8% today. It's great. I bought 300 shares last week for like $3. So I'm up nicely today. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the stock gives us. Nvda is up, and that's shocking to me. But again, you know why? Coinbase, man, I should have got Coinbase in the 290s. It was at like 230, and I really thought about doing a cash secure put, and I'm kicking myself in the neck because again, you oink around and find out, man. Red Cat, I bought back some cash secure puts on today. It was wow, that's interesting. It was up like 8% when I sold those cash secure puts. I'm sorry, when I bought back those cash secure puts, and now, I could probably go with a nice cash secure put and get some more money now. I'm gonna wait for it to come down a bit more. Yeah. Let's see here. Free News Medical is up a bit today. FMS. Newsmax is down, obviously. The QQQ is up, and VTS is up barely. QUBT, that's another one of my babies, is up 1.6%. I have some cash secure puts on it. ACLO is down a bit today. OKLO. Let's see here. Rigetti is up barely, but Rigetti, RGTI, Rigetti Computing. I think they have earnings today. You know what? A couple of our favorites have earnings today, for sure. Let's see what we have. Oh, Wolf has earnings today, I think. ASTS has earnings today. Archer has earnings today. BBAI has earnings today. Was it Ricardo that talked about BBAI and you selling a cash secured put on it? You better be bullish on it, because if it tanks, those cash secured puts are going to be worth a lot more. I mean, which for you is bad. Let's see here. So yeah, those are those companies are having earnings today, huh? So ASTS I think is going to have a good quarter. I think it's going to pop. Archer, I think it's on the fence. I think I mean, they've been signing a lot of contracts, but I don't know if those are going to be on this quarter. We'll find out. BBAI, it's a toss-up. I don't know. I think they're not going to do as well as they did in the last quarter, but let's see. This is why we have earnings, right? Yeah, I'm excited to see what these companies are going to tell us. All right, so let's see what we have here. Wing Commander saying bought 2 AI $30 calls. Good. I don't see anything wrong with that. Jeff is saying Savage. I have some 126.26 ATS, $35, and I'm at 50%. On would should I close before earnings or let them? I would close them, just because it's you don't know what the stock is going to tell. Okay, this is not financial advice, right? But look at it like this: do you really know their numbers? I mean, like, have you been really following it day to day? We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, or the earnings for that matter, right? What we do know is you're up 50%. You can really take 50% off the table. I don't know when you sold those, but if you sold them like a month ago, you already made 50% in a month. You don't have to wait 4 or 5 months now to bring in the other 50%. You could just take the money off the table right now, see what earnings says, see what it does tomorrow. What if they have bad numbers and it comes back down? Then you could sell 2 cash secure puts and go at a lower strike. If you were thinking about buying this company at like 35, why wouldn't you do 40s, right? Or 45 out to 2027, bring in even more cash, right? Or you could do the 35s, except this time you do them for like June or March, and you bring in more money if they have a bad showing. If they have a good showing, then you could do 40s out to June. I mean, it's just there's so many ways to go about this. But one thing I do know for sure is you say you're up 50% on those. If you're already up 15%, you don't have to wait until January for the other 50%. That's usually when I start taking money off the table. It could be that the IV and the premiums are high because of earnings, right? So that's going to drop. Why not wait till after earnings to take another position and see what it gives you, right? The stock is giving you 50% right now. Nobody was ever hurt taking money off the table, taking a profit. That's all I got to say, right? So this is not financial advice. It's just I've never regretted taking money off the table. I just like seeing the green, so, but you're going to do whatever it is that you want to do. It's all up to you, right? It's how you want to play it. You want to gamble, see what happens? Use those shares. Those could be 60% tomorrow. You could be up 60, 65. You won't be up 100. You won't be up 90. There's just too much time between then and now, right? You may be up 70, 75%, but you could also be back where you started. Instead of being up 50%, now you're going to be at 5% or 2%. You could be down 10%, 20%. We don't know. We do know you're at 50% right now. It's all up to you. Anyways, my fellow simpletons, degenerates, and scallywags, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate you guys, man. We've been trading. We see what the market gave us. AI is recovering. I see it recovering to 20 in the next month or two, and it's consolidating at this point. Nvda and AMD are going to pay 15% in tariffs now for every single chip they sell. And what do? We can watch the markets. We see how they're trading, right? Um, the most active stocks are some of our favorites, Sofi, C3.AI, Nvda, Tesla. I mean, it's just, that's what we want. We want stocks that move a lot because the premiums are that much juicier, right? And that's what I enjoy seeing. I enjoy seeing people that tell me they are up 50% on their stock on the cash account put that they wrote 2-3 weeks ago. And it expires in January. That's beautiful. And Nvidia is willing to pay the U.S. government $3 billion to save its business on China. Okay, so China accounted for 13% of the chip makers' revenue in its prior fiscal year, meaning if they were to pay 15% tariffs on whatever it is on the total, which is 13% of the chips, they're going to pay $3 billion. Where are those $3 billion going to go? That's what I'm wondering. And if they go to roads and schools, they go to hospital, building hospitals, and to making our nation safer. I'm okay with that. I am totally okay with that. The S&P is a nothing burger at this point. The Dow 30, it's down 136 points, which is at 44,000 of total points. It's a nothing burger. The Nasdaq unmoved at 47 points, which is nothing. The Nasdaq is at 21,500 points right now. That's crazy. It was just at 10,000 last year. It's doubled since then, and thanks to Nvidia. And so that's just crazy to me. Nvidia and Microsoft are 50% of the value of Nasdaq. That's really heavy. The Russell 2000, nothing burger. The VIX is up 3.4% now. It was up almost 5% earlier. So, okay, I'm actually looking at buying the VIX. I'm probably going to buy 100 shares or 200 shares if it gets down under 15, like at 1450, 1475. I'm looking at that. Gold is it's down 2.3%. That's $82. I mean, kind of a nothing burger day, so to speak. But stocks are moving, like specific stocks, and that's some of us are loving this because Sound is moving, right? SMCI is moving. AI is definitely moving. Sofi is moving in the right direction at least, right? So that's what we got going, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm the Savage of Wall Street. You knuckleheads, take care of each other. Make a lot of money. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow, probably around the same time tomorrow. So Jay Gill is saying thanks, Savage. Juan Velasquez saying good morning, everyone. Great to see the great group here. What's up, Savage? Let's get this cash and cure puts on AI, Sofi, on FTNT. Just wrote Sofi $30 covered calls for January 2027. Got 439 for them. Good for you, sir. Thanks for the advice, says Jeff F. Juan Velasquez says, I like the 50% gain cash up front, cash out. Take that money off the table. That's how you make money, my friend. We don't deal in what ifs. We deal in what is now. Rosita Parker saying, neat. Although I don't think the Knights of Knee are going to be my thing. All good. No problem. You simpletons, I see you guys tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Peace out.